Fina. Turn around, give me that Fina. Back it up, that Fina. Twerk that Fina. 'Cause you that damn good at it, girl. Alright, man, let's go ahead and get started with this rant.
Wow. You know, I have to tell you, as bad as Smackdown is, because I shut it off like, I think 40, or 50, what time is it? Yeah, around like 40, 50 minutes early tonight. After Cody Rhodes' segment, I shut off Smackdown. The reason why is because, again, like Raw, we're a week away from Mania, and I'm having to shut the show off because it's that bad. A week from Mania, and I'm shutting off Raw and SmackDown consecutively because of how bad the product is. The announcers seem tired and nonsensical, and they don't care about what the heck is happening because no one cares about this garbage. Pat McAfee on Monday sounded tired out of his mind. He sounded like he didn't give a crap about what was happening. Joe Tessitore tonight sounded like someone died. He sounded so depleted, so defeated, so unenergized. He didn't care. Wade Barrett didn't even have his usual energy tonight. You know, it's over. The ticket prices. Look at this graphic. I've been meaning to show you guys this screenshot. I put it on a community post earlier to show you this because for months, I've been telling you guys that the product sucks. Triple H is a bad booker. No matter what good moments they have, they will always be offset by the garbage and the bad booking that follows those great moments. Examples would be the New Day heel turn. Cody Rhodes finally getting his championship at Mania 40 in night 2. The Rock, returning after Mania last year and, having that segment with Cody Rhodes. It's gone nowhere. John Cena's heel turn. Good moment, gone nowhere. Why? Because the feud and the build-up for him and Cody Rhodes has had nothing but one good promo segment in 5 weeks. That is exactly what I've been telling you. The ticket prices. You now are at, for the whole stadium to be filled out, you need 60K seats. In night 1, you have 48,000 or 49,000 sold. In night 2, you barely have 50K. So 1/6 or 1/5 of the audience are just missing out. They're not even showing up to the stadium. They don't even care. Nobody cares. You can blame it on the pricing. You can blame it on whatever you want, but the bottom line is the product sucks right now. It sucks. No one cares about this garbage. Look at this Mania card. There's no real Mania matches. Chad Gable versus Rey Mysterio. Or El Grande Americano, whatever you want to call him, versus Rey Mysterio. That's not a Mania match. That's a Raw match. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. That's a SmackDown match. You know what I mean? Randy Orton versus whoever. Because I shut it off early, so they might announce this match later, but I don't even know who it is, and I don't care. Randy Orton versus whoever for nothing is a SmackDown match. It's ridiculous. Jade and Naomi is a SmackDown match. Charlotte and Tiffany has been poorly built. It is a SmackDown match. Jay versus Gunther is literally a Raw match. We've seen it on Raw twice, and we also saw it at Saturday Night Main Event. It's a Raw match or a Saturday Night Main Event match at best. It's over. Roman versus Punk versus Rollins. Hear me out on this. This is a January 6th Netflix premiere episode match. That's what this is. Because the match is for nothing. Nobody cares. The story and the build-up for it has been atrocious, and no one's even showing up. That's it. This match is only built off of star power. That's all you have. That's all you got. There's no real animosity and no real story between these three. Have they had any segment similar to the Cody and Cena segment where it was just the competitors in the ring arguing with each other, ranting at each other, and actually cutting deep in promo segments that were engaging, entertaining, and just absolutely amazing? They haven't had any of that. Any of it. In what world, in a feud with Rollins, Roman, and Punk, and you mean to tell me that Cody Rhodes has cut a more engaging promo in this Mania build than all of those three men combined? It's Dr. Libations who stinks on the mic, and even he has a more engaging promo than all three of these men in this Mania build. And you mean to tell me that everything's okay? It's a joke. This Mania season sucks. SmackDown tonight was atrocious, and these segments are all garbage. Mania has no real matches. They're all Raw or SmackDown matches. We just saw Io versus Rhea twice on Raw. We've seen Bianca versus Io before on Raw last year. It was a great match, but we saw it already. Everything is a Raw or a SmackDown repeat match. There's one match that matters, and that is Mania main event worthy. It is John Cena versus Cody, mainly because Cody has the belt, and mainly because it's John Cena's final Mania. That's it.
Yeah, I agree, but we also have to pay attention to this match right here. Like, this Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania 41 and Night 2, this is our main event right here. To all the subscribers that subscribe to my channel, this is our main event. The Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker, Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Now, the two people we focusing on is Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. And the main thing is that who's going to portray who in this match? And who's going to interfere in this match, Because the main focus is the Judgment Day. So the rest don't even matter. Now, I'm hoping that Penta wins, but if Finn wins, it's because of Liv Morgan. And if Dom wins, it's because of Liv Morgan. Either way it goes, Liv Morgan is going to be the reason why either one of these two are going to win. So rather she choose Finn or she choose Dom. It all depends on her. And if you think Liv Morgan is not going to interfere in this match, you're wrong. Okay? Unless, of course, the prediction is Braun Breaker is going to retain or Penta is going to win. You know what I mean? So honestly, it just all depends on her. She calls the shots in this match. So either she choose Finn or she choose Dom. I'm going to be real with you. Whoever she picks, will the crowd care? I'm not so sure. Whoever she picks, I'm not so sure. I mean, whoever she picks, it's up to the crowd if they're going to accept it or don't accept it. But I think people would rather see Liv Morgan with Finn Balor just because, they came up together. But if she choose Dom, I don't think people going to cheer. But they're definitely going to be like, oh, okay. Like if Liv Morgan, hits Finn with a chair or something for Dom to win, people are going to be like, oh, okay. But if Liv Morgan hits Dom with a chair, some people are going to be like, ha ha. And some people are going to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So it just all depends on the shock value. But, again, that's our main event is the Fatal 4-Way match. Now, some people will say, no, John Cena and Cody is our main event match. Yes, it is. But to my audience, to my supporters, to my subscribers, they want to see the Fatal 4-Way match. Because honestly, we can give two fucks about the Liv and Raquel match. We can give two fucks about the Liv and Raquel match. The tag team match against Lyra and Bayley, we can give two fucks about that match. Unless Alexa Bliss is gonna pull up, we don't give two fucks about that match. We don't care about it. We're good. We just want to see the Fatal 4-Way and Cody versus John Cena. That's it. So, because we already know Liv and Raquel are gonna retain unless they're gonna surprise us, which I doubt. So, let's go ahead and keep going with this video.
Everything else is a disaster. It's a disaster. I don't even care about what happened on SmackDown tonight. We're going to continue to call out this garbage because for months, everyone's been saying, oh, well, you're just hating, man. You're just critiquing. What are you talking about, bro? You're such a hater, man. CJAX, you be hating, bro. You're never happy with anything. You just be hating. Stop crying. You know why I was hating or quote-unquote hating? It's really critiquing and it's truth-telling. The product sucks, the numbers show it, and everyone sees it. Everyone sees it. Triple H lies, Cody lies, Gunther lies, Randy Orton lies, but the numbers don't lie. We're seeing it in front of our faces. The viewership is down by millions in WrestleMania season, and your viewership is declining. In WrestleMania season, and the fans are complaining more. In WrestleMania season, and the intrigue and the hype for Mania has gone down. In Mania season, and fans aren't showing up to the stadium for Mania. It's over. It's over. It's done. I don't want to ever hear anyone complaining about me, quote-unquote, hating or anything like that ever again. Because it's not hating if it's truth-telling and we're seeing it in front of our faces. It's simple as that. So for months and months, while people said I was bashing and doing all this other stuff, and now look, the proof is in the pudding. You're seeing it in front of your face. The truth has been told for months, and now you're finally seeing it. And now all of a sudden, the fans are all in agreement that this Mania sucks. All of a sudden, wow, what a shocker. We've been seeing this for months now. Everyone should have known this a year ago. Once Cody took that belt and Triple H announced this quote-unquote new era and all this garbage took place over last year's summer, which was atrocious. SummerSlam was good, but other than that, everything was garbage. And then you followed it up with Cody doing a nonsensical feud with Kevin Owens. Gunther's world title reign sucks. The women's IC belt and US belt mean nothing and are absolute just consolation prizes at this point. We'll talk about that in a second. And when you further on from that, all these feuds and stories and everything is just boring. It's all boring. It has no life because the segments are repetitive. The matches are repetitive. The tag team divisions are atrocious and feel non-existent. It's over. And I tried telling you guys this, and now you're going to see it next weekend. I can't wait for the generational rant that's going to be coming your way next weekend on both nights. You better get ready, because if this Mania stinks, which it's going to, obviously, good match. That's another thing. I'm so, dude. This is beautiful, because we're now finally seeing the fruits of what I've been saying, the fruits of the labor in a way. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the fruits of what's been said. You know what I'm saying? The truth has been set in front of our faces. We're seeing this garbage. You understand that? You know, I know people are saying like, oh, well, you know, if the matches are good, it saves the Mania. This is going to be a Mania 31 season where the build was iffy, but at least the match in the PLE was good. Guess what, buddy? No one cares if the matches are good when the matches are Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. When the matches are LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. When the matches are Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. When the matches are Stardust versus a washed-up John Cena in the ring. That is the type of matches that we're getting, and you mean to tell me that these matches are going to end up being great?
Yeah, man. And the fact that you didn't have Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross at WrestleMania, but instead you have Lyra and Bayley instead. And when those two should be defending their Intercontinental title against her, Bayley, and Roxanne, instead you have them in a tag team match and they're not even a team. You're not making this any easier, Hunter. I mean, you know exactly what you was doing when you did all this, and it's at some point the results is gonna hit you in the groin, and when it does, there's a possibility they might replace you. I would rather for them to just keep you in the company and just not have you as the chief content officer, but to get rid of you and not being able to market. I mean, I still would like for him to market, but if he can't, but if they can't, give him another position, I mean, like I said, I mean, his position should just be the ad, just be the ad marketer, be the ad manager, you know what I'm saying? Do that, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to be the bookkeeper, you know what I mean? Get somebody else for that. So, hire a new team, But this ain't it, bro. The fact Alexa Bliss is going to miss WrestleMania, shoot, she better be there. Even if she don't compete, be there. Plain and simple. Even if you don't compete, be there. So hopefully we get to see her, but as of right now, this is not going good at all.
Stop. It's over. And you know it, and I know it. The storytelling, the booking, and the build for this Mania season and for these Smackdowns and Raws going on now for months and months and months has been atrocious. And there's no other way around it anymore. We have to start accepting it, calling it out, and seeing it for what it is. Triple H is a fraud. This company is full of BS. It's a corporatized mess. And I will continue to critique it until they eventually make the product better. Because as I said the other day, wrestling itself is not the problem. The people running it are the problem. Now, 8 minutes into this video, dang near 7-8 minutes into this video, we're going to finally break down what happened on this meaningless, nonsensical episode of Smackdown, because nothing really happened. We started off with Randy Orton basically coming out to talk to Nick Aldis after last week doing the RKO. Now, obviously, like I said, I'll see the stuff that I missed. I think I missed like a Roxanne Perez, I think was going to come out, maybe like some other backstage segments or something, and then the main event was Orton and Knight versus Solo and I think Tama Tonga, yeah, whatever. I'm not watching any of that stuff. I don't care. I'll catch up on it by the end of the video. I don't really care. Anyways, Randy Orton basically comes out there and says he paid in advance for the RKO. He already paid double months ago when he RKO'd Nick Aldis the first time. And he said he's going to apologize to Mickie James, who's Nick Aldis' wife, for what he's going to do, if he doesn't get a Mania match. So I'm assuming that Nick Aldis is going to fight him at Mania, or at least he should. They'll probably give him some random boring match versus Solo Sikoa, because after this Solo Sikoa came out, before that though, Nick Aldis was basically saying he doesn't want anything but from Randy except for his respect. Because I respect you. I need you. I love you. Like, come on, man. Everything is about respect and love and all this other nonsense. Come on. Then Solo Sikoa comes out and basically says, no one cares, Randy. We don't care about your Mania match because you're stuck in the past. Nobody cares anymore. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Solo, aren't you also in the past? Nobody cares about anything you're doing anymore. You were just a tribal chief, one of the bigger heels in the company for like the better part of a year. And now you're relegated to doing nothing jobber matches at the end of Smackdowns. That's all you got. You're nothing right now, man. It's sad to see it, but it is what it is. And then Randy Orton does the I can't even do it. It's like the can't even do it, bro. What the heck?
Probably with a bitch or two if I'm delivering a square. How we get into a scuffle, got my knife.
Yeah. You know, the Tamatanga thing. So he does that. It's funny. Then they brawl a little bit. LA Knight predictably comes out for the save. I don't care about this. The fact that LA Knight is a world championship talent and he's being, relegated to doing nothing feuds and nothing burger segments and promos is just embarrassing at this point. So I don't care about this. Then we move on to the women's tag team gauntlet. This was arguably the worst part of the night. Well, no, it's not. The Zelina and Chelsea Green situation is probably worse, but still, the women's division sucks. There's no characters anymore. Not that there really ever was. I mean, consistently across the board, you have all-time greats like your Stratuses, your Nikki Bellas, what I'm saying, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, what I'm saying, all those people right there. Obviously my favorites are going to be Becky, what I'm saying, Trish Stratus, those are my favorites, but either way, right, they had characters in the past. They had divas, people who actually had gimmicks. They had entertaining aspects about them. And now you have none of that. It's just a bunch of people who can either wrestle good matches or are bad at both matches and promos and have a bad entrance and are not over with the crowd. That's the case. You can apply what I just said to 85% to 90% of the women's division dang near. It's a joke. This whole gauntlet was just full of botches. It wasted like 30 to 40 minutes in the show. The crowd was dead for portions of it. They got hyped for others. There's nothing to say here. Lyra Valkyria and Bayley end up winning, even though the only legitimate tag team here, which is Katana, Chance, and Kaden Carter, who actually I think should have won. It should have either been them or B-Fab and Michin, but of course, neither of those teams win. Lyra and Bayley, who were just fighting each other on Raw for the Intercontinental Championship, end up winning this match. What sense does that make? None. And Liv Morgan, right, someone who had a great 2024, and quite frankly, I took Liv Morgan for granted. At the end of the day, we're seeing what's happening with Rhea in the main event scene right now, and Io and Bianca, and I'm like, you know what? I took Liv Morgan for granted, because she wrestled pretty much consistently.
Cap.
And on the mic, she's not good, but at least she's more entertaining than Rhea Ripley is.
Cap.
And on top of that, Liv Morgan's just better at her job of entertaining people.
Cap.
It's as simple as that. We're all seeing it in front of our faces. So I took Liv Morgan for granted, and now, instead of her getting a reward for her great year that she had, she's now going to get a meaningless women's tag team championship match versus Lyra Valkyria, who is an intercontinental champion. Okay, here's the thing, because we're not done. Listen, this is a full-blown rant. I'm saying? Enjoy the ride that CJAX is taking you on. We're going to continue to ride this wave, you understand? Because at the end of the day, we have to acknowledge the garbage. Every single piece of the company that doesn't make sense. Every single aspect, every storyline, every match that doesn't make sense, we have to call it out in hopes of eventually getting a better product down the line. Now, anyways, Lyra Valkyria is an Intercontinental Champion. The first ever women's, well, technically, I guess China was, anyways, Lyra Valkyria is the first Intercontinental Women's Champion of this era, okay? And you mean to tell me that she is relegated to doing a Women's Tag Team Championship match? How is that possible? You are the Intercontinental Champion in your wrestling tag matches at WrestleMania. And I'm supposed to believe that this guy Triple H is an amazing booker. Stop. Stop believing the lie. It's over. The former world champion from last year, she had the best year of any woman in the division last year. Any of them. Name any of them, she had a better year, just statistically and just, what she did with her championship reign and the matches she won, etc. And you mean to tell me that same person follows it up 3 months after losing her belt, she's now wrestling a Women's Tag Team Championship Consolation Prize match at Mania versus the Consolation Prize Intercontinental Champion in Bayley, who was just fighting for a WWE title at last year's Mania. It's wraps. Wrap it up. We're done. Moving on from this. Drew McIntyre comes out, and it's very apparent that his story is cooked. There's no story for him fighting Damian Priest. There's no reason. There's no real actual meaning or intrigue behind this. We've gotten 3 brawl segments and a video vignette. That's all we've gotten for this, and now it's a Mania match. For nothing. It's a Sin City street fight. It's a street fight. It's a street fight because I can't stop thinking about Punk. And now Drew McIntyre is just a full-blown jobber. He was talking on a podcast this week about, what was he? Because he said, what's called storytelling and promos and stuff like that are more important than the actual in-ring matches. Because that's how you make people care for matches. Well, what are you doing to make us care for this match versus Damian Priest then? Do you see what I'm saying? This company's just ran by a bunch of hypocrites, man. That's all it is. Oh, well, we know this. Yeah, we know what we're doing. Business is booming. We got this. The booking's so great. Triple H saved wrestling. Gunther's on a podcast this week saying Triple H saved professional wrestling. No, he didn't. Is this saving professional wrestling? Viewership down, profits down, ticket sales down, morale is down, fans are complaining left and right.
Well, I mean, let's be real. If Vince was still in office, Gunther would not be champion right now. Straight up and down. So... And, same with Nia Jax, so, when she was champion. So, let's at least give, that's why I'm saying, let's give him at least some credit, you know what I mean? But, still, I would have liked it if if like I said, if they don't get rid of Triple H, just replace his position. That's it. That's it.
The build sucks. Is this saving wrestling? Just constant glazing of someone who doesn't deserve the glazing. You understand? So there's, it's just whatever with this point. Drew McIntyre beats up Damian Priest in a brawl segment. Damian Priest sits there and looks crazy at the camera, or looks crazy at Drew, I mean. And that's the end of this. Drew McIntyre gets back on the mic, hits Damian Priest again a couple times, and gets on the mic, and then, he just proceeds to say, I'm going to beat you at Mania, I'm fully cleared, and I'm going to beat the heck out of you, man. I'm going to beat the crap out of you. Shut up. Shut up and get back to jobbing at this point. It's over. Drew McIntyre got pinned by Jey Uso. He got pinned by Jimmy Uso. He got pinned by CM Punk, who's washed in the ring. He's washed now. And he got pinned by Punk twice. It's over. Anyways, let me get Ray Phoenix versus Berto. This match was entertaining. I'm not going to lie. There was cool flips and good selling and, good aerial moves, good power bombs, all the kind of stuff you want in a match like this with two luchador-esque wrestlers, okay? Ray Phoenix is obviously a luchador, but Berto, I don't even know what he is. He's just super athletic and does some luchador moves. So that's all you got for that. But this was entertaining. Easily the best part of the night, the only entertaining part of the night, and that's basically all there was to this match. This is why I say, again, Mania having good matches means nothing. This Mania season is not saved because it has a good match here and there. That's not how this works. You understand that? If you want a good match at Mania so bad, just throw in Ray Phoenix versus like Penta or something for nothing. Throw in Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable like you did. Throw those two in there for nothing. If you want good matches so bad, then just do a card full of that then. Put your best in-ring performers on the card and just have them go out there and fight. If that's all that matters is matches. Clearly, what matters is the storytelling and the build. Because Ray Phoenix and Berto can have this match tonight, and no one will care about it in a week. No one will care. Because there's no story, there's no impact, there's no character behind these two individuals. And it's as simple as that. So yes, the match was entertaining. I enjoyed it. This is a fun and solid SmackDown match for what it was. But is this good for anything long term? No. Because luchador wrestlers are relegated to doing the same thing that every other luchador does. Join the LWO or join Legado or job out to Ludwig Kaiser. And then we get Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green, which again had a very weird ending. Zelina Vega, I think, hit the side of her head on the corner of the announce table, like the edge of the announce table, whatever the heck. And then they rolled her back in the ring, and then Chelsea Green lost by countout. Next week, we're going to get a 3v3 between Zelina and Katana and Kaden Carter versus the Secret Hervis. This is stupid. It's stupid. Nobody cares about this garbage anymore, man. And the crowd completely shut their mouths as this match ended because there was nothing to say. You understand? There's nothing to say. There's nothing to do about this. The crowd's just dead silent. They're like, wait, she went off a countout? How did that happen? They interrupted the countout by one of them actually going in the ring, but yet somehow the countout still keeps going. It's over. It had a weird ending, a botched finish, botched moves, and it was only 5 minutes, thankfully, so it ended quickly, but Zelina Vega is done. Her theme stinks. The crowd's not connecting with her. It's over. It just is. It's sad because she does have some talent, but at the end of the day, if the booking's not good for you, the crowd's not resonating with you, you're not doing anything of meaning or value that's any good to make them resonate with you, and your entrance stinks, it's over. It just is, all right? We just have to be honest with this. I would not be surprised if Zelina Vega is released later on this year or something like that because this isn't working anymore. It's time to move on from this.
Yeah, I think it's best if Zelina just remove herself from WWE. I'm just keeping it all the way a ban. For all that being said, that WWE do not care about Zelina Vega, straight up and down, anymore. All that other stuff was cool, but now it ain't the same. It'll never be the same. So maybe you should go to TNA and maybe start a rivalry with Tesla, or maybe you can, start some things over there, or go to AEW or something, man, straight up. But I would recommend TNA first because they support Latinos, they support brown people. So I would recommend TNA before you go to AEW. So, I say go to TNA and make it happen over there, so. Like I said, instead of getting fired, why don't you just quit? You know what I'm saying? Just quit before they fire you, because then that way, once you quit, you can go to a different company and then come back strong. If they ever see your worth, So that's my recommendation. Hopefully she'll take that route, but until then, she's probably just gonna wait. She's just probably gonna prepare for the worst. Which is stupid when you can just, quit and go to TNA, but whatever. Let's keep going.
And Chelsea Green's title reign, by the way, has been atrocious. Let's just get that out of the way. The fact that she's been U.S. champion and she's not on the card, and the IC Women's Champion is also not having a singles match on the card, it's done. Both of these mid-card titles are just consolation prizes. Then we get to basically what the main event of the show is. Cody Rhodes cuts a nothing burger promo. He basically comes out and talks about each belt, the WWE Championships individually, and brings up the heart and the grit and the determination and the love and the care and the denotations of life. He literally uses the word denotations. He's like, the denotations of wearing this belt mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to you because I respect you. Shut up, man. Just stop. I'm so done with this guy at this point, man. It's so sad to talk about wrestling like this because wrestling is such a great medium. It's so great. When wrestling is done well, it is so amazing. I've been saying this for months. Wrestling is always going to be a great medium when done well. You have entertainment, you have drama, you have storytelling, you have music with the entrances, you know what I'm saying? You have pyro, you have all this stuff. You have great in-ring wrestling, the physicality, the athleticism, all of it, And you mean to sit here and you just give us garbage. This is so embarrassing for wrestling as a whole. But anyways, Cody Rhodes comes out, cuts a nothing burger promo, talks about each WWE title individually and how the fans can choose someone else than John Cena. And John Cena needs to learn that lesson. And he's like, John Cena's going to take, the title away from us. You're going to take back the title that you never lost? Yeah. He's going to take back the title and they want to run away with it or whatever. And, Cody Rhodes is fighting to keep the WWE Championship with us, meaning him and the fans. Before he starts speaking, you get the Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, shut up, we are bots, that's what you get. And honestly, this Cody Rhodes segment, I genuinely can't even remember what he was talking about outside of those key points. That's really all this was. He points to each title and he's like, I'm still champion. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say your time is up, my time is now, because quite frankly, time is eternal or something like that. But until I'm done, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to hold this belt. And that's basically what he said. That's all it was. There's nothing really cool here. I thought that, showing the belts in the ring, each one individually was cool, and him talking about each one was cool. But quite frankly, there's nothing to talk about here. I mean, what is there to say here? What does this achieve? What does this do? He points at each belt and literally points at the WWE Championship and acknowledges the fact that John Cena is like the best WWE champion of all time for the specific belt. He was pointing at the spinner belt, the OG retro belt. You get what I'm saying? That's just, I don't understand how he literally points that out, and this is someone you're fighting against next week. I just, what is the point of this? Are you going out there to glaze him and talk to us about how great John Cena has been? Or are you going to talk about the actual match next week? This is just so weird. It's what are we doing with this? And then Cody does a shout out to all the members of the WWE roster who challenge each other and make this company better. And he brings up everybody except for guys. I don't even think he brought up Rollins or Roman or any of the actual top guys, LA, not any of those people, the actual great talents. He didn't bring up any of them. He brings up guys like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I'm like, dude, stop. It's done. You understand? This is just stupid at this point. Cut a promo about the person you're wrestling. I don't care about the history of the title. Stop giving me a history lesson. Give me a promo. I mean, come on with this stuff. It's so dreadful having to get through this, but thankfully I shut it off early. But yeah, that was pretty much this. Now I've caught up on the stuff that I've, basically missed or that I didn't see after I shut it off. There was a match between Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany obviously wins. So now Roxanne Perez, who got pinned by Jordan Grace, I think a month ago, and then got pinned by Kalani Jordan a couple weeks ago, and now she's been pinned by Tiffany Stratton. So basically Roxanne Perez is booked like a jobber, even though she's called the prodigy. She's not over at all with the crowd. We're supposed to hear about how great she is and everything like that, but she can't beat anyone who's an upper card talent. So it's over. You can't even beat mid card talent in Kalani Jordan. She's great talent, don't get me wrong, but come on now. Kalani is a great talent, you know what I mean? But you still can't be losing to that if you're supposed to be the prodigy, the next up and coming thing. So she's basically cooked. It's easy to be a big fish in a small pond at NXT, but again, like I said, now you're a little fish in a big pond. So Roxanne Perez will likely become a jobber within the next year. So there you have that.
Well, that's why I recommend this, where all four of them get together, like Carlito, Dom, Raquel, and Roxanne, and they work as a group. You know what I mean? People voted for this to happen. They voted they would be down with this type of clique. So, that's why I would like it if Roxanne and Dom would collab and, along with Carlito and Raquel, and all four of them collab and, maybe do a little something, on the side. You know what I'm saying? Imagine Dom is Intercontinental Champion and Roxanne is Intercontinental Champion and, or Raquel could be Intercontinental Champion and, Roxanne could be United States Champion and, Carlito, well, it's up to him if he wants to win a belt or not. But however, imagine all three of them win gold. You know what I'm saying? and if they all team up. I mean, I think that would be a great thing for Roxanne because at least she'll have a story to tell with Dom and Raquel and Carlito. So, I was hoping they would do something like that. But however, if Finn and Liv work together to betray Dom, then most likely, it might not happen because if Roxanne get together with, Dom, then Liv's gonna get jealous and then she's gonna want to come back to him. So, and we don't want that. So, the best suggestion is just, hope for the best and hopefully, we'll get some, rearrangements and hopefully we'll get some solutions and hopefully we'll get some new management to where, Raquel will get a better outcome because, yeah, it is kind of weird to see her on SmackDown when, she should be on Raw, beefing with Lyra and Bailey. So I don't know. Hopefully, she'll come back to Raw and start beefing with the Intercontinental Champion so that way she can get her shine. But until then, we just have to, hope for the best and just hope that she'll get her opportunity. So that's what we hope for. But let's keep going.
After this, Charlotte Flair beats up Tiffany Stratton and brawls with her, and that's pretty much the situation there. There's nothing really to speak of. She brawls with her, gets in an argument with Wade Barrett, slams Tiffany around a little bit, stands tall. That's really all you got. It's the same stuff. There's no real promos or anything engaging to build this feud. Last week's promo was a sloppy mess of personal shots and awkward pauses and just complete lack of effort, you know what I'm saying, and lack of talent on the mic in that ring. That's just what it was. Crowd was insufferable during the promo. Tiffany's really green on the gills, clearly on the mic, and has no idea what she's doing as a storyteller. And, it just is what it is at this point. This feud sucks. I don't really care about it. Then we also have a situation where in the main event, Randy Orton and LA Knight beat Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. Nobody cares. Randy Orton, I don't think, still has a match. So, nobody cares about this anyways. Nobody cares. We've seen the collection of Solo Sikoa versus LA Knight like 15 times, We've seen him versus Tama Tonga as well, LA versus Tama Tonga. We've seen Randy versus Tama. We've seen Randy and KO versus Tama and Solo. We've seen Randy versus Solo. We've seen Randy versus Tama. It's the same stuff. Why are we getting the same match we've gotten 8 times on this SmackDown 1 week before Mania? But it lets you know that Triple H has no idea what he's doing, and no one else knows what's happening at all either. So then at the end of this, Jacob Fatu beats up LA Knight, and that's how it ends. He holds the title, and that's it. I don't really know what to even say about this. The fact that LA Knight even lost the belt in the first place and is even competing for the U.S. title in the first place when he should be competing for a world title like Jey Uso is right now is just embarrassing. So there's nothing to say about this. This episode probably actually, I'm not going to lie to you guys, this episode's going to get a 1.5 out of 10. Actually, I'll give it a 2 out of 10 because the Berto and what's it called, and Rey Fenix thing was decent. And there were a couple other backstage things like the Mello Don't Miz segment with the Street Profits was cool. And then that was pretty much it. So yeah, you get a 2 out of 10 for tonight. One of the worst SmackDown episodes I've ever seen. 7 days before WrestleMania or 8 days before Mania. And this is what we're getting. 2 out of 10 episode, one of the worst SmackDowns of all time. I'm lowering it down to a 1 out of 10 now that I think about it, and enjoy yourselves. Thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out in one love.
Look at this match card right here. We would have had this. This could have been it right here. But instead, we get something like this. Man, look. I don't know what to say right now. I don't even know what to say at this point. Roxanne, Zelina, the way they're getting treated is just, what the freak, man? Then we get Lyra and Bailey to face Liv and Raquel for the tag team titles, but no triple threat match for the IC belt. Let me get this straight. Make it make sense. You invite Roxanne to SmackDown, but won't invite her last week to beef with Lyra and Bailey. You know what you could have done? You could have had Roxanne attack Bailey and cost her Intercontinental title match. That way we would have had a triple threat match. But you wouldn't do that. So instead, you invite her to SmackDown, but you didn't invite her to Monday Night Raw? You see what I'm saying? This booking is getting out of control, man. And now we got to deal with this. Look, man, I'm not watching night 1. But night 2, I have to because of the Fatal 4-Way. However, I am watching Stand and Deliver Saturday afternoon, so catch me going live on that. And as for night 2, I am going live on that as well because of the Fatal 4-Way. But what I'm not going to do is watch night 1. I'm sorry to say it. I don't care about, the triple threat match with Punk and Rollins and Reigns. Like, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? All I care about is the Fatal 4-Way match. And partially Cody versus Cena. But however, that's all I'm going to watch. Everything else I'm just going to ignore. Like the tag team match with Lyra and Bailey versus Liv and Raquel. Listen, if there's no Alexa Bliss, there ain't no point in me watching it. So I'm probably going to skip it, since it's on Peacock. So, but y'all get in the comment box and y'all discuss what do you guys think about SmackDown. You thought it was decent? You thought it was average? You thought it was trash? Y'all comment down below. Let me know, okay? And also comment, we want Alexa Bliss, all right? Hashtag, we want Alexa Bliss. Comment that, all right? And also, justice for Zelina Vega and Roxanne Parandes, okay? And bring back Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and whoever else is in the bag that hasn't been shown. All right, so get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. All right, I'm out.